Hello and welcome to TUC0's Talks. I am TUC0 Wright, and today we're talking about the number one trap for young, inexperienced leaders. And I shouldn't say young because it could just be inexperienced, those who have not learned the tricks of the trade. So, I've seen this in education, I've seen it in the military, and recently, just a couple weeks ago, I saw it from a Division I head football coach. It happened when someone from the media came out and said something about negative about this coach and about the team. And it was immediate. This coach fell right into the trap. And I just was shaking my head. And if it's the number one trap and it's something that we all are working against, how come no one's talking about it? Well, today, TUC0's Talks is talking about it. So, welcome to TUC0's Talks. If you don't know who I am, if you're new to the channel, my name is TUC0 Wright. 20 years experience within the Air Force Special Warfare. I've worked with Navy SEALs. I've worked with Army Special Forces, Army Rangers, and within multiple joint special operations units. And being part of those teams, I get to see some of the most incredible leaders that America has. And so I've been able to have a couple conversations with some of my friends and those that we've been on. Recently, we talked with Mark Foster, and Mark talked to us about multiple things, but really what I pulled away is just that failing forward and how it's okay to fail as long as we learn from it. Next, we had Ron Stanger on, and he gave a treasure trove of leadership things that we can learn. We had Derek Draper on after that, and just his quotes and just his vision, how excited he is, and just that passion of leading with a love that spoke to me. And I was like, man, that's exactly what it is that he does so well. And then we had Matt Wright, who's one of the best program directors in the country, and what he has done with marketing and all the people that he is working with. And we had him on talking about what is management, and then what's the difference between a manager and a leader. So if you have not seen those, go back, check those out. They're fantastic. Also, make sure that you hit the subscribe or follow, depending on the platform. Also, crush the like button. That helps us, that helps the algorithm, and ultimately that goes toward all the proceeds go to Morae Classical Schools, which is a private Christian classical school specifically targeted for military personnel. It helps them out. We're looking to develop scholarships and just to be there. So if you're in for helping the military families and the schools and the kids there, make sure you hit that subscribe and like. All right. So we're working through a million different things. Let's talk about this number one trap and what is it that people are falling to. Well, most of the time you see it as in, okay, it's us versus the world, and they're trying to bring their team together, and they're trying to say, we're going to come together and we're going to be part of it. The problem with that is it is so inclusive and so focused on being defensive toward everyone else that it rejects the ability to be collaborative. And although it works individually for a moment in time, ultimately it's going to create bitterness. It's going to create just an inability to set a vision and for everyone to be collaborative in that nature. And so if that's the case, then why do people do it? Well, there's a couple different reasons. Number one, they probably haven't actually had leadership training. Someone to sit down with them and walk them through not just what to do, but the why. Why is it important that you don't do that? Why is it important that you as a team are open to everyone else. You as an organization are open to everyone else. Why is it important that you would want someone to be able to stand beside you and to walk through that? And it sounds very obvious, but if you don't put in the thinking of that long-term solution, you'll never see it. And so that's a problem for you. So that's one, is they just haven't been trained in it. Two, you get instantaneous feedback that it's actually working. And so the unity works and everyone's coming together and everyone feels tighter and it feels like it is a positive thing. Another thing is, you don't really have to have any leadership skill. You don't have to have charisma. You just have to instill the fear of everyone else taking you down. And so that makes it very easy. And the last thing is, it's a quick, easy fix. And if it's a quick, easy fix, that usually means it's not going to be a long-term fix. And so if you want to put together a long-term fix, and if you want to do things correctly, that's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take energy. And people are so overloaded with problems and so much to do, they don't want to put the time, the effort, energy into it. And so it's much easier to just spit out something of us versus the world and bring everyone together and then worry about the long term in the long term. And so my desire for the people that I'm leading is never let them do it. Never let them settle for the quick, easy fix when you can instill something that's going to be the long term. Okay. So if the answer is not us versus the world, then what is the answer? Well, the answer is, if you're a young leader and you're trying to develop something and things are either going wrong or you're brand new coming in, the way you fix it is you set a vision and you have to create a picture, tell a story, paint a painting, whatever you want to say. You have to set the vision. That's your job as a leader. You are the vision caster. And then you have to create and determine how you're going to get from where you are to where you want to get to. So you create that and then you develop a plan. And then you talk about how to inspire people and how to develop people so that they can get to that spot. And I think this is the key thing, is you have to develop the person. And you will find leaders all the time is, oh, I need to teach people a skill. If you go into education today, they're like, well, we're going to take a photography class, or we're going to take a computer class, or we're going to take a robotics class, and we're going to teach a skill. And that's good. And there are some times that should be done. But I'm more focused on, how am I going to teach character? How am I going to make a person better? And in the workplace, how do I set people up to learn? How do I develop people? How do I develop character? How do I encourage character? And all those types of things, I'm investing in the person. Now that person who is a better person will be able to do better work. But if I'm only worried about the work, then I'm missing out. And ultimately, it's going to fail in the long term. When you invest in people and when you develop people, they will run through a brick wall for you. And that's where the job gets done. And so for my young leaders, make sure you set a vision. Make sure you know where you are, where you want to get to, develop a plan, and then start developing people. All right. So let me give you a couple of examples and walk through where I've seen it go really badly and where I've seen it go really well. So, where where I saw a young officer come into a program and he had about 30 people follow. And he created this us versus the world. And the problem is he was a section of one of 7 within our total organization. And everyone outside that organization or his little subset there was the enemy. They didn't care about us. They were only out for themselves. No one cared about us but us. And it created such a toxic environment. And although his little unit was good, the overall unit was not. And we had to address that situation, and we had to say, no, it's not you versus the world. It's all of us trying to accomplish a mission. And oh, by the way, we're working with other organizations that are trying to create the same vision and mission. And we all have to work together in order for us all to win. If only one section wins, then we all fail. And so that was something that went drastically wrong. Something that worked well, and we had Colonel Stanger on, and he sat down with us as leaders, and he was like, don't ever let anyone in your unit say it's us versus the world. He wanted to build an empire, and it had to be collaboration, and everyone had a place at the table. And we were all going to come together, and we were all going to develop it, because he fully understood there is no possible way that we can accomplish this on our own. We have to build. And so we have to reach out to others, and we have to spend time developing people, developing their understanding, developing their grasp of concepts. And we have to paint the picture and tell the story so well that they want to be a part of it. And that's the best I've seen. So even if you're starting an organization, you have to sell it. You have to let everyone know exactly why that's so important. Let's go back to the story of the Division I coach. So what happened was someone within the media said that the team was weak. And the coach got so mad and was like, nobody believes in us but us. We're going to do it. And it was funny because I went back and looked at records, and the coach is extremely successful, except on the big stage. And on the big stage, extremely underperformed. And so I can't help but look at it and think they're not using all their resources. They're not developing as they should. There is a toxic environment down low that is not allowing them to work through that. And the inability to lead and set the vision is costing that program. When I contrast another Division I Power 5 coach, this person is not as successful right now, but I think will be, because they're developing it the right way. And this person took over a program and came in and said, not, hey, we're going to do this or we are this, but we're looking for people. And we want to find people. And we are going to be inclusive to everyone who wants to be involved. And those people are going to be 5 different things, right? And so he set the vision that said, hey, we're going to be smart. We're going to be tough. We're going to be fast. We're going to be disciplined. And we're going to have character. And this person is well known for not getting up and talking about X's and O's, but talking about how do we develop a person to be a better person. And they know that we're not looking for immediate results. We are looking for how do we develop a culture, and how do we get people involved, and how do we get a following that we can all buy into. And when you talk about character and when you talk about developing people, that's exciting. People get encouraged by that. It's something different. It's something new. It's something that they can get behind. And that's where the momentum starts coming, and that's where we start going. So, I held back a little bit because I'm like, I don't want this to be about a certain team or a certain sport, because it's not even about a sport. It's about any type of leadership. But it's such a critical difference to find real, and I won't say real leaders, very good leaders who have been taught and who know what it is that is important, and can work through that. So those are the examples of the different types of leadership that you'll see out there. You'll see different grades, and as people encourage and as people grow in their leadership, you will see them to develop. And so, young leaders, when you're taking over, make sure that you do not do the us versus the world. There is nothing that you can do to discourage long-term growth, to build just a non-working relationship, non-cooperative, and toxic environment that will ultimately not get you to where you want to. Set the goals, know the vision, define how you're going to get there, and just start pouring into people. And then those people will do the mission. All right. Well, it has been another great episode. I hope you enjoyed it. It's something that I am passionate about. It's something that you as a leader can lead your team through. If you liked it, make sure you hit that like. As we said, hit that subscribe and follow. Make sure that that you guys are telling other people about it, as we can develop just a community that can come in and talk about leadership, talk about the different ways to go. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have great conversations. We've got a head football coach that we're having conversations with, and then other people that I've met within the Joint Special Operations community. I hope y'all are having a great week. Thank you so much for your time. And until next time, this is TUC0's Wright, checking off.